Hello viewers, Super GT here. Welcome to my very first impressions of Forza Horizon 4. So this is the full game. Now there is a demo scheduled for this later today, 12th of September, and I'm guessing that a lot of the gameplay in that demo is going to kind of overlap with what I played here. I played for about 2 hours, and this is basically the first sort of 26 minutes. There will be something in here that you won't be able to get in the demo. But I am guessing there will be a lot of overlap, so for that reason I've put a load of timestamps in the description so you can skip forward to certain things that you might want to see. So kicking things off here, we have the character select screen, so lots of customization with your character available with the clothing and everything. So like 14 different looks available here. So I'm just going to go with this dude here and crack on with the cutscenes. So, as a typical kind of Horizon fashion, you get 3 cars to choose from. I've gone for the Dodge Charger. I think a lot of people actually went for the full Focus on this, but I'm going to go for the Charger. Big old American beast. And I will cut through all of the loading screens and everything. There's no point, of course, in waiting for those. So you can choose your number plate. This is something we've seen before in the previous Horizon games. So just go for Super GT as a nice boring number plate. And this is where the gameplay actually begins. So, actually no, well, not the gameplay. We're going to look at the map first. So again, not too much to change here. We have the events that come up on the map, and then you have to kind of drive to them and complete them. Have a look at the map here. So Edinburgh is up the top. We may well have already seen the map. 3 bridges up the top here. You can't actually reach them. I tried actually going there during the event, but I found that you can't actually go up to those bridges. They're just there for decoration. Then looking down the east side of the map, you've got the beach on the right hand side, and you've got all the sort of poppy fields. And then this area down here you can't actually go to. And then back towards this smaller town in the southwest corner. So driving away from the festival site, I'm going to go towards our first event, which is just around the corner. So first impressions, the game feels very familiar, you know, having the Horizon sites and then just driving around towards all of the events around the map. So we're going to go for our first sprint race. So this is the kind of the loading screen. We're going to fast forward through that. So we're driving the Dodge Charger, of course. So we're going to be matched up with similar cars in the same class. And here is the pre-race menu. So you can tune your car, change the difficulty bonus to get more credits. Here is the lineup of the race. So you see the classes there. A class we're in here, and it is the same as before. So S1, S2, A, B, C, etc. So tuning. Very much the same, very familiar. There's not really any new options here. Just the same things that you will have seen before. So tyres, gearing, alignment, anti-roll bar, springs, damping, aero, brake and differential. Just changing a couple of the settings for my preferences. Just for reference, the assists are very much the same as well. And they can also boost your credit multiplier at the end of the race. So I've gone for manual with clutch, TCS is off, ABS is off. So it's a fairly difficult car to drive. I'm going to have a very, very quick look in the photo mode. Again, not really much new here. I didn't really get any footage of the drone mode. But I don't know about the differences with the drone mode. I think it's very much the same. But yeah, I didn't get any footage of that because I didn't get far enough into the game to kind of unlock it. But yeah, photo mode looking very much the same as you'd expect. So let's kick things off with this race, and I'm going to try and do our best to win, of course. So it's not always important to win every race, I don't think, but we're going to do our best to kind of get past all the AI. So just 12 cars in the race, all in the same sort of division as me, so all classic sort of American muscle cars here. So the physics, let's talk about the physics to begin with. The physics to me felt very, very nice actually. I felt like Forza Horizon 3 was a little bit, sort of a little bit too easy. This actually feels a little bit more difficult to drive, which is a good thing I think. So you can't just always pick it up and just instantly become amazing. Although at the same time it does feel familiar. So if you're a familiar Horizon player, you will be able to pick this up and get used to it quite quickly. But it does feel a little bit harder to me compared to the previous games. But I think that's a good thing on the whole. And as per usual, I think in typical Forza fashion, you can really feel the identity of each different car. So you can feel the fact that this is an old classic car. It's got lots of power, but it is also very heavy, and you can definitely really feel that. So that's definitely a positive. The car feels as it perhaps should be. So I enjoy the physics. It's perhaps not as stringent as the motorsport games, but it probably shouldn't be, because Horizon should be more about sort of freedom and fun. So finishing second here, but we are going to progress anyway. Couldn't quite catch up with that guy in the lead, so just finishing a little bit off in the end. So this is sort of the post-race menu. You get these little dances. You can change all of that. So that, again, as I said, there's lots of customization options. You can change your little celebration there. You can do like dabs. You can wear a chicken suit. It's just like really random, some of the stuff you can get. So that's not going to be in the video, unfortunately. But I mean, when the game comes out, I'm sure you'll see it. And some of the options are really quite funny. The things you can do and choose. Okay, so we've got Anna, who will help us find some influence. So Anna's sort of the automated voice who can help you find things. So as I was saying, your currency in a way as you progress through the game is influence. So it's not really as such like it used to be fans. It's measured in influence, so that's what you're trying to build throughout the game. So let's have a quick look at the world map again. Just going to go towards the next event. So here's a look at the radio. So I actually turned this off because, well, music gets demonetized on YouTube, so I had to turn it off. But the radio station says 5-6 radios, and just your typical range of music that you'd expect to find in a Horizon game. But actually good music, and you can actually find all this on Spotify. They actually have a playlist for the Horizon music. And the problem for me as a content creator is I always have to turn it off because, as I say, it gets demonetized very quickly on YouTube. So we're going to go for another sprint race here. This is very familiar. The game feels very familiar, but it does feel very nice having a sort of a fresh location in the UK. And for me, I'm from the UK, so it does feel very much. I feel very much at home playing this. And the location, it looks spectacular. Apologies if YouTube makes it look any worse than it should do. Well, it will, because YouTube does that. But when I was playing it in 4K, it looks absolutely amazing. Honestly, one of the best games graphically that I've ever played is Forza Horizon 4. If you have the chance to play this on 4K screen, definitely give it a go. It really does look very good, and some of the views that you can see throughout the game, throughout the map, are absolutely spectacular. It does look really nice indeed. So moving on to our second race, and as I say, it's kind of familiar, similar to the Horizon games of old. So you kind of build up a couple of events on the map, and then you kind of drive to them and complete them, and then build up your influence as you go through. And you progress that way through the game. So we're going to make our way steadily through the pack, already 50% into this race. So the race is not too long, maybe 2-3 minutes in total. Again, very familiar with older games. In Horizon 3, if you're doing a sort of circuit race, it would normally be like 3 laps on a circuit that lasts about a minute. So about 3 minutes in length. So you're kind of typical race length. Although we do have confirmation that there are going to be some long behemoth races, as there were in Horizon 3. So races that'll go around the entire map. I don't have any footage of that. Didn't get far enough to kind of get to that point, but we do have confirmation of that being in the game. So lots of hairpins here, which this car probably is not best suited to, but then again, everyone's in the same boat in this race. So grinding off the wall, going to try to get into the lead. Not long left to go, just 15% or so. So climbing up the hill. The car feels really nice actually to drive. As I said, a little bit harder than previous games, I feel, to really get everything out. And I was actually making a lot more mistakes than I was before. But then just about crossing the line in first place for our first victory in Horizon 4. So everyone else finishing there. So A-Class, these cars are tuned to, or not tuned to. I think it's just a stock car. Having a quick look at the replay here so we can look at just how spectacular the game is. And once again, I'm not sure there's much development in this area. I think the cameras are very much what we're familiar with from previous games. So a familiar theme here. Some of these things are kind of very similar to the older games, but it's worth sort of seeing, I suppose, if you just wanted to, if you're curious to know what these things are like. So again, I don't have any footage of the drone camera, but this is the replay camera, and very nice spectacular shots you can get here. And you see the background there. The game just works really well. So previous ones we only had 1080p but only 30 FPS, but the game runs really nicely, 60 FPS, and it looks really smooth. There was no sort of loading. The game wasn't stuttering at any point. So the game worked really well. No complaints so far. Didn't notice any bugs. Didn't notice any mistakes, like that kind of thing. So you have the sort of driver level at the bottom there, but then you also have ranks for each sort of racing division. That I went up to level 2 there on one of them. So that presumably unlocks a load more events in that kind of division. So I've got another cutscene to look at here. Okay, so we've been invited to... I've only been here about 2 minutes and I've already been invited to be a stunt driver. So we're going to drive towards that. So you might have just seen on the map there, we're in spring at the moment. Oh, sorry, we're in summer at the moment. And we needed 18,000 more influence to unlock autumn. So you progress through the seasons as you unlock more influence. So that's a shoddy piece of driving, but we're just going to enter the festival here and go through some of the tuning setups, tunings and designs and stuff. So I changed my number plate back to sausage. You might have noticed they were calling me sausage throughout the video, interestingly. So let's have a look at the upgrades and tuning. So a familiar sort of screen here. But this is a little bit different. So you have car mastery this time around. So you use these skill points on a car basis, car by car basis. So not like before where you just have skill points. If there's a certain car that you like using, then you're going to sort of spend your points on that car. So it's done on a car by car basis. That is a little bit different than before. So just having a quick look at each of these. Again, you can just pause it and read some of those if you'd like. Bodykit Presets. So this makes a return, and this car does have one. So we're going to go for it. Might as well buy it. In fact, I can't actually afford it, but you can have a look at it there. So of course you've got the big old motor hanging out the front. Don't quite have enough money at this moment to afford that. So tuning, tunes available as always. You can download tunes from other people, and there is the Creative Hub, where you can see all of your creative spirit statistically in that little menu there. So all your tunes, all your paint jobs and everything, how many times have been downloaded, that kind of thing, and your tunes, and then tuning. We've had a quick look at tuning already, and we're just going to back out and go to upgrade. So again, upgrade, similar to tuning. Again, the very familiar options that we've seen before, all kind of the same. The one thing I was worried about is whether or not the four-wheel drive conversion will be overpowered again, because we all know that you just make your car four-wheel drive, and it makes it just really fast in the game, or in Horizon 3 it did. So we'll see about that. I didn't change it here. I didn't convert my car to four-wheel drive. That's kind of a criminal thing to do for a Dodge Charger, but you see that it does improve your launch and acceleration massively. It doesn't really have much of an effect on anything else, and the PI didn't go up much either. So that is perhaps a sign that four-wheel drive may well be very strong once again. And especially so when you're driving off-road quite a lot, which you will be in Horizon. That's what you do. But we're going to leave that. So lots of similar things there. Car mastery, a little bit different than before. So perks based on a car-by-car basis, rather than sort of overall for all the cars. A little road discovery thing at the bottom of the screen there. 11 out of 531. So that's incidentally more roads than Horizon 3. So quite a lot more roads. I think Horizon 3 was at 325. There's quite a lot more to discover. So a bit of free roaming here as we drive towards the next event. So you can of course just cut across. There are a lot of trees in the UK, you can see here. So you've got that risk of smashing into them. I am going to take a risk here and go across the grass. This is a very Horizon thing to do, just to cut the corner. And we have seen in the online free roam, also the online adventure, that the getting to the next event, you know that part where you play multiplayer and you have to get to the next event, that actually counts for something now. So being able to cut through trees well will now actually be a crucial skill in Horizon. Okay, so I've been here about 5 minutes and they've already given me access to the Bugatti. Okay, so absolute monster of a car. We can test out what this thing feels like. So it's a bit of a cool scene here, or a mission, if you like, where we have to drive to this next event and then sort of record or film a scene. So the British roads looking very nice indeed. Now, I was actually caught out a couple of times because it's so weird. In the UK, we drive on the left, but I'm so used to driving on the right in games that I was actually crashing into traffic quite a lot. So on the way to this event, this car absolutely it's a monster, this thing. It's got so much power, as you'd probably expect. You know, it's a Bugatti. Of course, it's going to have a lot of power. So quite easily beating that timer to get to the event. Okay, here we go then. I'm going to film this weird scene. It gets a bit mental here, to be honest, but that is kind of the Horizon way. So I'm going to whack a left here, and then this this jet plane just comes out of nowhere. So quite the hell what's going on, I don't know. So I'm going to try and cut this corner here, incidentally. So the Bugatti Chiron, I spoke about the Dodge Charger having sort of unique handling, and you kind of feel it with this car as well. Again, feels very heavy but very powerful. You can really feel the difference in the cars, which is good. And I do like the physics in this game, and I think that's something that Horizon has over lots of other similar games. Like when I play the Crew 2, I just don't feel any sensation in the handling at all, and especially between cars. But in this, I think Forza does have that. It has the unique character of each car. You can feel that to an extent, whereas other games can't quite get that as well. So this scene gets a bit crazy here because we're going to jump through this windmill and somehow escape this plane. I don't know how that sort of tricks an aeroplane into not knowing where you are, but hey ho, this is how it works. So we're going to fly over here. Very nice view of the countryside, and somehow we survive this bump without shattering our spine into 5,000 pieces. We've got these like the danger signs. Remember the danger signs from old games? So you measure on a 3-star basis. That just happened to be one of them, I think. And we got the 3 stars for that. So once again, our rewards: Horizon Story. So that's for the mission, and then difficulty assists, how hard you make it for yourself with like TCS, ABS, that kind of thing. So nearly level 2, and we've gone up to level 2 on the stunt driver story, unlocking a wheel spin. So now we've unlocked the dirt racing series, so we're going to head towards that. So the game's kind of split up into a load of different tiers or different sort of series. So we've had the dirt racing series, we've had the stunt driver kind of story. So it's built upon these little mini stories, and you rank up within those and unlock more events by playing more of those events. So we're going to head towards the sort of rally races now, or the dirt series as it's called, and we're coming towards the end of the gameplay. So again, we're going to kind of skip through this field. A very Horizon thing to do. Just look for the marker and just head in a straight line towards it. Who needs roads when you can just do this? Heading through some water heavily slows you down. Really slows you down quite a lot doing that. And you see the destructible environment here. They did improve sort of the trees. So of course that tree on the left there, really thick. You're not going to be able to go through that. But they did work on the thickness of trees, and it is a lot easier to tell which trees you can hit and which ones you can't. So that tree there, obviously don't want to hit that. But it is a lot more clear now which ones you can and can't hit. So travelling through forests isn't quite as hard as it used to be. Although there are a lot more forests. You can see there is the woodland is actually very dense now. So in a way it is harder because there are more trees to deal with. So just heading down towards this event. So this is the beginning of the dirt series, sliding in to those DMs in nice fashion, and let's have a look at some rally cars then. Okay, so again we get the choice of 3 cars. I've gone for the Ford Escort. Classic British motor. So good to be able to get our hands on this thing. So we can test out sort of the driving physics off-road now, which is crucial because off-road is a big part of the game. In fact, I'd say you probably spend more time off-road than you do on the actual road. So let's get straight into it. We've seen all the other stuff already. Let's get driving then and report upon the physics. So we're going to be driving sort of on this gravelly dirt. I don't even know what it is. But I would say, yeah, you can definitely feel the difference between this and the road, and you can really slide the car around here quite nicely. You don't really need to slide it. I don't think sliding it is always the fastest way. Through some of the tighter corners it is, and through some of the fast corners it can be a bit better. But you don't want to get too sideways, I don't think, if you want ultimate speed. But what I will say, again, I will just reiterate that I really enjoyed the physics from what I played here. The gameplay is very good. The graphics are very good. The gameplay is very good. My only worry perhaps is the map size. I know that there are 4 maps in one in a way because the seasons change, but we can look forward to DLC, I suppose, which will definitely improve the size of the map or add sort of an expansion or something. But on the whole, very pleased with what I've played so far. Please do ask questions in the comments down below if you want to know anything more, because there is more gameplay that I played, but I didn't actually manage to record all of it, so we were only allowed to record a certain amount. So I did play for about an hour and a half beyond what you're seeing here. So if you have any questions, then definitely do ask, and I'll do my best to get back to you. The gameplay you're seeing, you'll probably be able to do a lot of this in the demo, so do have a look. But yeah, this is going to wrap up this video because the recording's about to end. So if you have any questions, do ask. If you are new to the channel, and then do subscribe. I will be doing plenty of Horizon 4 content. And yeah, consider subscribing and liking the video if you did enjoy. It was a bit of a ramble, but it was just my initial thoughts so far. So I do thank you very much for watching as always, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much for tuning in. I shall see you next time. Goodbye.